People believe that native speakers automatically are better teachers. Honestly, it's not true. It's one of the most overrated ideas in language learning. If you are choosing between native and non-native teacher right now, stay with me and I will explain you why native teacher isn't the best option. I will save you time and money. First of all, it's usually higher price and you pay for status. Prices for native teachers usually 2 or 3 times more than non-natives. And not always it's a really qualified person who knows methodology. Sometimes it can be an ordinary guy for whom English is native language and in his free time he does teaching. Second, knowing language isn't the same like teaching language. Sometimes natives that I saw on Preply, on other websites, they don't really know methodology, they don't know structure. They mainly try to only speak with you without offering you some materials, grammar, or if they offer, it's in random order, it's not structured. I'm talking from my personal experience and from experience of my friends who had classes with native speaker. If you're lucky to find great native with good education and a good methodological base and for reasonable price, you're lucky. Personally, me, I'm native Ukrainian and Russian speaker and I had experience teaching these languages for foreigners and I had few classes and after I realized that knowing language and knowing how to teach it is not the same. I can teach English because I started learning it from scratch. I know how to explain every grammar that my students face with, but in terms of my native language, sometimes I struggle when someone asks me about some grammar rules because all these rules, they go naturally from me. Maybe you saw on the internet when different people ask American, how many tenses do you have in English? And they are sometimes stuck and say there are only 3 tenses. Or some people ask them, can you explain what does it mean past perfect? And they are surprised and they don't know what to tell. But we should learn it and we should understand it.
What is the past tense for go?
For go?
Yeah.
Stop. Wait, past tense? How can go be present tense? What do you mean by that? Present? Past? What?
What's the past tense for go?
Leave.
What's the past tense for go?
Stay. Don't know.
What is the past tense for go?
Go. I don't know, pal. Past, what was it again?
What is the past tense for go?
Past tense?
Yeah.
Come.
Thirdly, when you're beginner and just start learning language, it will be too complicated for you to start learning with a native. I don't say that it's impossible, but it will take much more time. For example, I had experience learning German and I was in Austria at that time. We had our German teacher and he spoke only in German. For me, as an English teacher, understanding the structure of English, a lot of things were understandable because logic, some grammar rules were somehow similar in German and English. But I understood almost 30% of what he told. A lot of my classmates, they understood nothing and they had a big problem because after the lesson they should Google this information, watch a lot of videos with explanation. They struggle and we couldn't ask our teacher any questions because we couldn't build this question. It was not allowed to use English during the class, only German. And this approach is not for everyone. When you start learning English and you don't know any word in English, it's much better for you to start with someone who speaks your native language and who can explain you these grammar rules, this structure, they translate these words. And when you have class with a person from your country, this person know common mistake that people from this region or this country does. And she understands cultural context, she understands how to explain something to a student because you are from the same cultural background. And for example, if you try to learn language with a native speaker from the beginning, but this language somehow similar to your languages or languages that you already know. For example, I am native Ukrainian speaker. If I decide to study Polish, maybe I can try to learn it with Polish women. Somehow it's possible. But if I decide to learn Chinese or Arabic, I can't even imagine it. I will definitely start learning with person who knows or English or Ukrainian language, and step by step I will learn this language. And after, if I get B1, I can try learn it with native speaker. Next, natives speak too fast. They use idiom, they use slang words. It's not always understandable for learners.
Right. What did he say?
Said hairs his hair, don't he? He only chopped him down because he couldn't see the view no more. What's he on about?
What did he say?
And they have accent. I had few situations when I had classes with people and they told me that before they had classes with native speakers and they understood nothing. That's why it's much easier for them to have class with me because my speech is slower, more understandable and clearer for them. If you're preparing for exam, you should be sure that native speakers know the structure of exam, because if you need to pass IELTS or TOEFL or your local exam in your country, there is no guarantee that native speakers know how to prepare for exam, how to write essay for this exam, where you can get points and where you can lose points, and you should be sure that this person knows the structure. You should check if person prepares someone for this exam and understand logic of this exam. Now let's talk when you can benefit from having a class with native speaker. First of all, it's accent. If you want to work with accent, it's better to have class with native speaker. He will definitely hear where you pronounce in a wrong way and fix you and help you to remove these mistakes. Or you can have a class with accent reduction specialist. Even this person will be better than native speaker because it's professional who works with accent. If you level from B1 and higher, it's a great option to practice with native because you will almost understand everything, and you can also work with fluency of your speech. You can learn some informal words, slang words, idiom, etc. that natives use in their everyday speech, and you will not hear or read them in textbooks. And the third option, if you want to move to the country, especially it's great if you want to move exactly to this region, he can tell you about their cultural difference, about some of their jokes, about exactly slang words that they have in their region or some phrases, etc. Because your teacher may not know this, and it's impossible to know everything because there are a lot of people and there are a lot of difference between people who live in the US, Australia, New Zealand, Britain, and even in the US they have different accent, and it's a great also option for you to train your ear to hear different accents and to adapt them and sharpen your knowledge in English. Now, after this lesson, you can understand if you need native speaker or not. Wish you good luck in your language journey and see you next time. Bye bye!